Welcome to our final Atomic Heart Trophy walkthrough video. We are getting ready for the final fight, and I highly recommend that you visit your Nora station. What I am doing is loading myself up with fire cartridges, with the Kalash. I'm also going to upgrade it as much as I can, and lots of ammo, as well as high health. You can just leave the small health items in the Nora station. That's really all that we are going to need. I'm also going to go into the glove, and I'm going to upgrade that just a little. I don't have a whole lot of neuropolymer, but what I do have, I am going to invest in making the glove stronger. You can see in energy management that we can do 2 upgrades there, just to give us a little bit of an edge. We are back in Chalamet. If you didn't know, that's where we are on the map. So our enemy is very close by. Basically, it's just a zip line away. So once we are finished here, we can exit this building and head over there.
Extremely worried about you. I think you may be in danger.
What do you mean? The break room isn't safe anymore.
No, handsome. My room will always
Of course,
be
make
safe for
sure
you.
to install a fire
I won't let
cartridge
anyone in, as long as
into
you're here.
And where is this threat coming from?
into your
Your
rifle,
glove. It is manipulating you. Take it off before
and
it's
you can
too
hit the
late.
save also
We'll
if you
be
like,
together
just
till
to make
death
sure.
do us part.
Which I kept the pistol as well, but I don't think I need it at all.
About the glove.
But I'm right,
It's always good to
darling.
have an extra weapon
you
just in
wanna murder
case.
me.
And really, I should have put away the melee weapon because it's not going to help us at all. So when you exit here, you can follow the path up ahead to the left of the little house. There's Granny Xena sweeping things up, and she swept us. You could actually see my character got swept up by her broom.
Come on, Sergey. Vengeance awaits.
Don't rush me.
When
One
you're
thing at a
ready,
time.
slide down the zip line, and we are back at the same building that we came to in the beginning to get the key for the car. And here, since I took some fall damage, I'm going to heal up and stop off here and refill that heal. I mean, it's right here. You might as well. You can see that when we enter, left is waiting for us. And honestly, she's one of the easier bosses. She's not difficult at all. At this point, I've beaten her 3 times, and I have never died. So Dewdrop was way
Is
harder.
that left or right?
The only thing is she is really fast, so you want to just completely smother her with the polymer jet and continue shooting with that fire cartridge, because the fire continues to do damage even if you're not shooting. You can see it. She's on fire and her health is going down. It is just a small bit at a time, but because the Kalash is fully upgraded and we have the fire cartridge and we're using the polymer, it really helps. When she does that laser thing, duck down. I didn't, but that's what you should do, is duck. And then of course you want to be dodging as much as possible. I need to replace my cartridge. I guess I'll notice it sooner or later. There, sometimes she will do that slam and it will send out a blue shock wave. You just jump over it and you should be fine. See here, you should duck. Again, I didn't, but hopefully you will. There is another little bar underneath her health bar. When her energy is in, she needs a rest to refill her energy. You'll see that bar deplete. So she actually takes more damage. This is kind of like her second phase here. She'll turn blue, and then you'll see she'll start making the waves that you need to jump over. Sometimes you'll have to jump and dash as well. And don't forget, if for some reason you have not gotten the scanner trophy yet, you can scan left as an enemy. So keep that in mind. See, she's almost done already. She really is not at all what I thought. I thought it was going to be way tougher. But I will say she is a bullet sponge, so that's why we want to bring as much as possible with us to fight her. Well, I guess I did use my pistol. Just a little. And once she's defeated, you'll get these lasers. This doesn't last very long, and they're pretty easy to avoid. And then she is, I guess, out of energy because we're going to see her again. Go up and interact with her. Just in case you were wondering, no, that is not the whole boss fight. That's just the first little portion. But we do get a break in between, thank goodness, because I don't think we would have enough ammo to continue if we didn't run into another Nora station. So now we're going to take an elevator ride up, and we're going to listen to this speaker talk about the Atomic Heart Project.
1951. The goal is the suppression of the United States of America. Change of political regime, abolition of capitalism, establishment of communism, establishing social and moral ideals consistent with the beliefs of a Soviet person. The method of execution is the seizure of the strategic and military facilities, followed by disconnection and shutdown of nuclear power plants. Effective deactivation of the Atomic Heart of America, complete surrender of the government, and the transfer of power to the top leadership of the USSR.
So how are they gonna pull that off?
Well, Sergei, first they sell robots, then they simply give them away as aid. Once they reach critical mass, they take over all the power plants and cut off the power.
If that's not diabolical, then I really don't know what is. And in here, you can read that. It's pretty interesting, but we're going to continue on, and in the next very long hallway, we're going to get an accurate reporting of each of the robotic enemies. Take a minute and read these, and also some of them have chests behind them. Go ahead and loot those.
Its standard loadout includes a 7.62mm machine gun that can be replaced with a flamethrower or laser gun.
I still don't get how we can control machines in America from the Soviet Union. It's not like hacking a hub in the facility.
Comrade Major, the polymers have the ability to transmit information among themselves without need for radio frequencies. No other transmitters are required, since the neuropolymer is itself a transmitter. Collective 2.0 will work the same way, but with the brains of ordinary users. An enormous social distance would be required to avoid control, but any undesirable outcasts will be caught by the robots.
The NAT-256 Natasha heavy-duty ground-based loader bot can squeeze up to 5 liters of blood from a human body in under 20 seconds.
I bet it'll be like how people control these monsters with that fucking gizmo there. The thought controller.
As I said earlier, Thought is
Designed
nothing
as a
but a
mobile
trinket, a
healthcare
fake.
unit, the
The
dog
primary
can employ
connector
a
is the
medic or
jelly man,
paramedic.
the
But it is
neuropolymer.
quite adept at
And only
performing
Sechenov has
autopsies,
access to it.
especially if the
Only the
patient
jelly
is
man,
still
a
alive.
massive data array, can resonate with all polymerized objects and control them. And believe me, Comrade Major, a tremendous amount of polymer has been spread throughout the world over the last few years. Every machine and every human being on Earth will become part of Kollective.
Acting as an exoskeleton for a pluche-based neuropolymer creature, the Dewdrop is a highly capable combat unit whose laser beam's penetration rate for human flesh is a staggering 0.15 seconds.
So, to make a long story short, Sechenov is in charge of this polymer thingy, this jellyman, and the jellyman is going to be in charge of everything that becomes part of the
The
network.
Hauler is capable
Sounds
of
like
detaining intruders
frickin' black
with a
magic
special
or something.
plan.
The polymers
It is
have not
programmed
been
to keep
fully
the subject
studied, nor
pinned
has
to the
Kollective.
ground while awaiting
It is
a human
entirely
rapid
possible
response
that
team,
humans have
or
created something greater than
terminated if none is
themselves.
coming.
In fact, the electronic messages you have been reading at the pair terminals may very well have been specially selected for you by the neural network, or even
programmed with
created.
advanced melee techniques,
simply don't know,
prioritizing
Major.
breaking
I don't like the
into
sound of
snakes
that.
to
It's
ensure
no
zero
worse than a single
survivability.
man's drive to control more lives than just his own.
A light reconnaissance drone. A group of owls can lift an enemy off the ground and drop it from a lethal height.
Listen, this is fucking bonkers. Sechenov wants to take over the world and blow up America.
Not blow it up, just deprive it of electricity. Weren't you listening? If you still have doubts after the Academy, what I've told you, and everything you've seen around you, let's just do what we came here to do. Look your former boss in the eye
Designed
and
as a
ask
freight
him.
drone, the Drofa also doubles as a punitive expedition unit. Its unique Archimedes screw rotors can chop a human body into bits as efficiently as an industrial-grade meat grinder.
So after hearing all of that, it is very clear that Sechenov has been lying this entire time. And this is what was behind that door. When we first came in here to get the key, that's what was hiding behind that door. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, in here, go ahead and refill all your ammo and your health and get ready for double the fight, let's say.
Saving data.
Without even trying to resolve it peacefully. But I won't let you stand in the way of progress. Right, left, terminate.
Well, he was pretty callous about that for being so close to us. Here, when this fight starts out, you are going to have a QTE, and it's an automatic game over if you do not make the QTE. This is the only time that I died was the QTE. Even though you have both of the twins to contend with, really, they have the same energy. I don't know how that works. So I focus on the one that stays on the ground because right likes to stay in the air and left likes to stay on the ground. Here will be another QTE, just beware. Yeah, I just focus on left and it takes the health away from right as well. And those QTEs, the buttons are different every time, just so that you're aware. When that's finished, the fight will start properly. And these are basically the same moves as what we dealt with in the beginning, except that right will sometimes throw blue lasers at us, and also giant balls of polymer. And if you, like, I'm using the fire cartridge, the balls of polymer that she uses can catch on fire. So definitely beware of that. We're going to use a lot more health items here than we did before. We have that same laser beam. It's telegraphed pretty well, so you'll have usually about a second to duck down when you see that coming. As you can see on the health bars, I'm only aiming at left, but the health bar for right is also depleting. I honestly am not really sure how that works, but it does. So yeah, just be vigilant and make sure that you're refilling your cartridge when it runs out. Make sure you're healing when your health gets low. And try your best to dodge. There, I finally got it. Dodge when they shoot the lasers or when they throw the polymer balls. See, I didn't dodge. This fight is pretty quick, honestly. It's not so bad.
Can we just stop fighting?
Now, later on, once their health gets pretty low, you do have to watch out for Right because she likes to do that laser thing. And it can sometimes be hard to avoid.
Major, wake up!
Right now.
Katya.
Your wife is dead. Sechenov took her from you.
And at this point in the story, if you have paid any attention at all, it's really messed up that
Dimitri is suggesting that I'll be hurt.
P3 has to do this boss battle. Because if you've paid attention even the slightest bit, then you know that left and right essentially are a reconstruction of the left and right hemispheres of his wife's brain. So essentially he's having to murder what's left of his wife, and it just makes it so much more sad. But it doesn't change the fact that we have to. If we want to survive, we have to do this, and this isn't really his wife anymore. They're just robots. Okay, at the end, this is how they finish off the fight. So essentially they are dead, but you have to go through this laser maze before they will actually go away and you win. So, and this one lasts much longer than the other one. See, they come together again. You think it's over, and then it isn't. You get another dose of laser mazes. And these lasers, they can kill you really quick. So don't sleep on them. And once this laser array finishes, we get the Murderous Beauty trophy. In addition, we are also getting the Atomic Heart trophy because we beat the game on Armageddon. So you got a double dose of that scene there just to show the trophies pop. And as this cutscene comes to an end, you'll get a little bit more story that's either quite shocking or quite predictable, depending on what you thought during the game. We get this final cutscene here, where P3 wakes up in limbo. And he's not alone this time.
Crispy critters.
Here I have added the Burning Ears trophy just to show you that I actually did have to go and restart the entire game just to get a final chirper. And with that trophy, I also got the Motherland Does Not Forget Its Heroes, which is the name of the Platinum Trophy for this game. And that was all due to a glitched out chirper in Polygon 9. So in conclusion, I'm just going to give my final thoughts on this game and kind of see, I'll let you guys know what I think, and you can let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree and why. So I had a lot in the plus column and a lot in the negative column. I thought this game was very fun to play. I enjoyed my time with P3. I really liked Charles. He was annoying sometimes, like sometimes it was just too much exposition, but for the most part, he had useful things to say, and I thought he added more than he took away in the story. I've seen online some people thought him to be really annoying. Personally, I was okay with it. Just sometimes I'd find myself saying, God, shut up, Charles, I thought the soundtrack was great. And I know I made comments in several of the videos about the music. And while I was watching the credits roll, you'll see here coming up pretty soon that Mick Gordon is credited, and I think that explains a lot about why I like the music so much. He's just legendary, and man, you really can't go wrong when you've got him on your soundtrack. I really liked the lore. There was a great depth in the lore, and there was a lot of it. I don't like lore dumps. I don't like it when you get to the end of the game and all of a sudden you just get this giant bag of lore dumped on you, and you're kind of like, oh, what am I supposed to do with all this? And we did have some of that in the end of this game. There was a little bit of a lore dump, but there was so much that was given throughout the course of the game as well. If you were taking the time and reading the pairs, looking at the posters on the walls, listening to the chirpers, listening to Charles, listening to Sechenov and Petrov and all the people who were speaking to you while you were playing, you really got a lot of it during the gameplay. It wasn't all at the end. I think my biggest problem with what happened at the end, it was a very unsatisfying ending. I felt like the story kind of fell apart in some aspects, literally in the last 5 to 10 minutes, all during cutscenes when there's literally no more gameplay. I did not like the way that this story went. I feel like it was too easy. I don't like that feeling when you play a game and when you get to the end, it feels rushed. I had the same issue in Resident Evil Village. It was exactly the same. The story was really fleshed out all the way up to the middle. You had the first 2 sections that you go through in the village are great, and then the third one, it's just a little off. It's not nearly as good as the first or the second. It's just a little off. And then by the time you get to the 4th one, everything just feels so rushed. That's how I felt here. I just felt like the rushing didn't happen until literally the last 10 minutes. It was very unsatisfying. And then, depending on when you're listening to this, there's been a lot going on. This is a Russian studio that made this game, and with everything going on over there, my hopes are not high for a sequel. I think a lot of this could be fixed with a sequel, but I don't see it happening in the future, and that's really disappointing. There was a lot more that could have been done with this story. The graphics and the visuals were awesome. I did have some glitching at one point. I did experience, I was driving in the car and I flipped it on its side and just happened to exit the vehicle at the same time that it flipped. And I ended up falling through the entire map. And yeah, that happens sometimes. You know, it's not a big deal. Most of the time I'll laugh when things like that happen because, it just happens sometimes. And I was really happy with the visuals that I saw. I thought the character design was really, really good. I loved the funny little mustaches on all of the Vovas. I thought it was hilarious. Also, your main character, very nice looking guy. Nice build, nice face, nice facial hair. All of the characters that were modeled seemed to fit in their place. Like Petrov he had a little bit of a nerdy look, but that's how he was supposed to look. The only one I thought didn't fit was Filatova. Man, she's the only person in the entire game with purple hair, and she basically has the same haircut as P3. And to me, it just kind of felt lazy. Her face was very pretty. Her body model was very attractive. The hair bothered me. But that might just be something personal with me. The environments were really nice. I liked the stark difference between, you start out in this underground complex where all these weird experiments are going on and you're in there for a really long time. And then when you get out, you're essentially in this open area. And then later on, you get to an even larger one. Like you feel like it's big when you first get out of the complex, but it's really nothing compared to after the train ride. The only issue that I had was a lot of the environments looked alike. The testing grounds, man, they were like copy and paste in how they were designed. Some of the puzzles were really good. I enjoyed the puzzles. There wasn't a lot of variety. Like the complexes all had similarities. All the testing grounds looked the same. The theater was nice because it was completely different than the complexes. And the top of the hospital was nice, but that was a whole 5 minutes. And then when you get down into Pavlov, it's kind of more of the same. But it was different enough that it stood out. So, there's good things and bad things. As far as the enemy variety, I was pretty happy with it, and I thought it was interesting going back to the beginning and having to go look for that chirper, which, yes, that was super annoying. After 2 years, that definitely should be fixed, and there's too many people online who are saying that particular chirper is not appearing for them, and the exact same thing that happened to me is happening to other people. That should be patched. There's really no excuse. But the enemies, they were great. It was nice going back to the beginning and taking that boat ride and seeing, oh, well, there's the med doc things. They're walking around with the people. There's Vovas everywhere. I even spotted Granny Xena there walking her pig. She was there helping the guy whose Vovas were fighting over a box. And then it's kind of funny, like, well, how did she get back so fast to where she ended up meeting P3? But, game logic. I just chalk it up to game logic. However, some of the enemies, they put a pit in your stomach. You see a whole bunch of docs together and you're just kind of like, screw this. I'm just going to run for it because you just don't feel like dealing with it after a while. After 6 hours, 10 hours, however long you've been playing, you're just kind of like, man, I just can't with these guys, But I guess that's part of it. It's not necessarily a complaint. It's just it's something that, can get very tiresome when you've been playing for a long time. Um, I wanted more in the Academy of Consequences. I feel like that it was bare. They gave you a giant lore dump when you were in there, but you didn't actually get to do anything. It was just walk and talk, watch a cutscene, walk and talk. That would have been an awesome area to explore during gameplay. I thought there were too many collectibles, and on the opposite side, I thought they did great character development. There were a good amount of weapons in the game, not too many and not too few. You had lots of variety to choose from. They also gave you a lot of variety with the upgrades for those weapons. You just had to be proactive and go and seek out those upgrades. I appreciate that. I'd like to be rewarded for my hard work. And I don't like having my hand held. And I will say, once you figure out how to get to the testing grounds, for the most part, it's fairly simple. But figuring out how to do it the first time, like basically they just give you a yellow question mark on a map and they don't give you anything else. Your main quest gets a marker, but all of the extras you have to work for, and I really appreciate that. I don't like having my hand held. Like, I complained about the yellow paint. Yeah, that's annoying. It's not gonna make me not play a game, but it's a pet peeve, I guess, probably for a lot of people. The character development was awesome, especially for the side characters. A lot of times you don't get a lot of depth in your side characters, and we got that here, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that overall, this is a game that I would play again, or I would get the DLC for. Now, granted, I'm probably going to wait for it to go on sale, because some of us are balling on a budget. But if I can catch it on sale, I will definitely buy the season pass or whatever it is with the DLC on it and work on a guide for those as well. This was a fun world. It was a fun place to be. It was a fun environment overall. And I enjoyed my experience with this game. And for anyone out there that hasn't done it yet, you should definitely pick it up. If you like this type of game, pick it up and give it a try. And while you're at it, hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching and sitting with me through this guide. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Until then, Khajiit always has wares.